Welcome back, guys, for our 7th of our 8-part playoff preview series. Today we got the number 2 seed Edmonton Oilers against the number 3 seed Los Angeles Kings. On one side, we got the Oilers, team that's been absolutely electric, especially since the trade deadline when they acquired Matthias Ekholm. This team has been unstoppable, winning games left, right, and center. And on the other side, we got the LA Kings, a team who has been really solid all year round, pretty consistent for the most part. They really kind of hovered around this third spot, third spot all year. I mean, this team is pretty deep and does it by 4 lines. This should be an interesting series.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting series. I kind of followed both these teams all year round. LA kind of surprised me in the sense that when they acquired Kevin Fiala, I did not think he would be this much of an X factor to this team. He really added a lot of offense to this team, a lot of flair to the offense and speed to that offense. So it would be very interesting to see when these two teams go against each other. Edmonton, obviously, they added Matthias Ekholm, big ad for them. And we'll see how a healthy Evander Kane does throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, so for today, guys, we're going to break it down in this matchup. We're going to go through the offense, the defense, goaltending, special teams, and then one X factor from both teams, and then finish it off with our prediction for this series. And we're going to start off with the offenses. The LA Kings offense, it has been every man's got a chip in type of offense this year. I mean, whether it's the Kopitar line or the Deneau line with Arvidsson, these guys all seem to add a little bit. And I mean, when I look at this team, it is definitely led by Kevin Fiala now. This guy has been absolutely electric since going to the Kings. He has way overdone my expectation for this kid. I mean, really solid player, point per game guy. Playing alongside Kopitar is when he's really killed it the most. I mean, it's good because, I mean, Kopitar also has a good two-way game. Same with guys like Deneau, solid two-way game. It seems to be the Kings' MO. You got to play two-way hockey to be successful. And then looking down the lineup, you got some younger kids who could be X factors in their own right. You got guys like Quinton Byfield, who went 2nd overall, kind of still struggling to get back into the game, but has lately got a little bit better. And Arthur Kaliyev back from injury. Really interesting stuff. Victor Arvidsson has really impressed me this year. I thought he's had one heck of a season. And then, of course, Adrian Kempe, who has been absolutely electric and proved he is not a fluke. Back-to-back years with over 30 goals. This kid is a really good compliment on the wing.
Yeah, I mean, when you spoke of all those players, I mean, they're all pretty high-end, pretty good players on the team. And one player I want to add on top of that was Gabe Filardi as well.
And he had a really good first half.
He had a very good first half. We'll see whether he can do anything in the playoffs. But as you can see on the graphics, look at the Oilers side. Holy crap. You see McDavid up there? You see him? 150 what? 150 what points?
Yeah, I mean, he almost has as many points as the whole list of the Kings.
You look at number 2. How many points for Draisaitl? 120 what? Wow. You look at Nugent Hopkins.
Yeah, let's not look at that one.
Yeah, let's look at that one. Look at it. He beat Jack Hughes. That's how good he is.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to say much about the Edmonton Oilers offense. I mean, with that top 6 is one of the best in the league. With Hyman and Evander Kane, that he's healthy from that wrist injury, and then you also have Nugent Hopkins, who has broke 100-some points, and 2 of the best centers in the league. And then not only that, the bottom depth of this, the bottom 6 of this team is also good. And Matthias Janmark has 10 goals this year. That's how good they are. Warren Foegele I believe he hit double digit for goals as well. So you have great contribution of scoring throughout the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret I'm not an Edmonton Oilers fan. I really don't like this team, but I don't think it's even remotely close offensively. We got to give the edge to Edmonton here. It's very one-sided offensively.
Very one-sided.
Moving on to the defense, though, okay? We're going to talk about LA's defense. I mean, they got one of the most grizzled veterans out there in Drew Doughty. This guy feels like he's been around forever. He's won the Norris. He's still kicking it at like mid-30s now. Really solid defender still. Hasn't really lost it that much. I mean, he's not quite as prime as he used to be, but he's getting it done. Guys like Sean Durzi have also had some pretty solid years. And we can't miss the guy that they went out and gave up a first-round pick to get. Vladislav Gavrikov has been unreal for this team. He is a really good fit for this team who really needed a shutdown, hard-nosed, physical defenseman, and he has really provided that for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Drew Doughty, but whatever. They did not have Drew Doughty last year on the LA Kings roster in the playoffs last year. But even with him in the team, he always just whines and gets mad so easily. They're gonna, the frustrations are gonna get to him, I think, in this playoff series. But on the other hand, with the Edmonton Oilers defense core, with the addition of Matthias Ekholm, it just shows how good this guy is. This guy is a Viking on this team. They call him the Viking because of his beard. But not only does his beard give him superpowers, but he is just a really big defenseman who knows how to position himself properly. He knows that he has a great first pass up the ice to the high elite offensive players on this team. Now with his increased minutes on our top four to play about on average about 20 to 22 minutes a night, it decreases the pressure for Darnell Nurse to be the number one guy on this team now, and it really helps his pairing partner Evan Bouchard to play a better defensive game as well. So that's why Jay Woodcroft have been using Evan Bouchard way more than he should have. Bouchard has been playing about 23 to 24 minutes average ever since they acquired Matthias Ekholm. So it just shows, and on top of that, one player I cannot forget, Vincent Desharnais, this big boy. He just goes out there, hits. All he does is keeps a game simple. All he does is stay in base, make sure no one's in his base, and he just clears everyone out of there. He hits anything that moves. Great player.
Yeah, I know, that kid's actually a rock, man. He's a pillar out there. He don't move, but he doesn't let anyone get by, hey?
Yeah, the only weakness I'll say with the Edmonton Oilers defense is Brett Kulak. I feel like he makes some kind of boneheaded mistakes here and there, some weird turnovers. But other than that, I think the defense score for the Oilers is actually quite good.
Yeah, so I will admit, I have to say it's pretty close overall, but I would give the slight edge to Edmonton on the defensive end. Personally, I just think that their six is more rounded out. I mean, you got some solid guys, some young kids like Mikey Anderson and Sean Dursey, and then obviously some veterans like Gavrikov and Doughty. But I mean, overall, I think as a unit of six, Edmonton is slightly better, especially with that Ekholm add at the trade deadline.
How about the goalie now?
The goalie, oh my goodness, this could be interesting. On one hand, the Oilers have rookie goaltender Stuart Skinner, who's had a decent season. I mean, I say decent because, I mean, his numbers aren't that good, but I mean, when you compare them to his partner, Jack Campbell, he looks like the next Patrick Waugh. But on the other side, you got a team that's been running a very odd goaltending situation this year. Phoenix Copley, a guy that they added after like 20 games into the season, who is unproven from my Washington Capitals, was like our third string goaltender, barely ever got to play. This kid was insane for LA. He won like 25 of his first 35 games. It was just incredible. He just came out really hot, kind of faltered near the end of the year a bit. And then they went out and traded Jonathan Quick for Joonas Korpisalo, who has actually slightly been the better goaltender over the stretch in the last 15 games. And I anticipate that he will likely get the start, although I would not be surprised if after a loss or two, you could see Phoenix Copley back in the net.
To be honest, that Joonas Korpisalo trade was very, very well done. I've always liked Korpisalo. Even when he was playing under Torch system in that Columbus team, he was super, super good. I mean, he eliminated Toronto Maple Leafs, in my opinion.
By himself, yeah.
By himself, and he's just been good. Joonas Korpisalo is going to be a huge X factor for this LA Kings team. He has got the experience. He's played against high caliber offensive teams. He's going to be, I believe he's going to be a starter come playoff time for game one. But the other side, we got Stuart Skinner. I mean, which is a shocking starter because we all expected Jack Campbell in the beginning of the year.
Especially for $5.5 million.
Exactly. But with Stuart Skinner, he's played overall pretty well, but not exceptional. I want to emphasize this. He hasn't been exceptional. I know
he's done what he's had to.
He's done what he has to. I know a lot of Oilers fans here are like, oh, he's been so good in the last stretch here. Give the man the Calder. I mean, I don't know about that. Not quite. I mean, I'm an Oilers fan here, and I'm going to be real with you. I mean, Stuart Skinner, I want to see how he does in the playoffs when the pressure is real. When you're not playing teams like San Jose, and I know he played well against LA Kings in the last couple games against them, but I want to see how he plays in the playoff pressure.
So who you got as the edge of this goaltending?
I got Korpisalo for sure.
I'm going to say it's very close once again because I don't think either of these guys is absolutely elite by any means. I'll give a slight edge to Skinner because I think he's going to face 15 less shots a game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Moving on to the special teams. Hohen.
Oof. As you can see on this chart, LA Kings is in the bottom of these 16 teams in Pentakill, and you can see where Edmonton is on the power play. They're number one, historically best ever. It's pretty laughable, honestly, when you look at it, right?
This is, if you're LA, like, I'm not even joking you, if you're the LA Kings, the first thing you do when you're at practice is you practice not touching the other player. Like, you do not do anything. You do not risk taking a penalty. If you have to clear the puck, clear it on the ground. Don't put that thing over the glass. It's not worth it. Just don't do it. And if you're fighting with someone in the corner, like, back the F off. You don't touch them. You don't want to go shorthanded because this is a guaranteed goal. Look how bad that penalty kill is against the best power play ever. You would be crazy if you took a penalty if you're the LA Kings.
Yeah, we don't need to spend that much time on the special teams. It's pretty obvious you see the big gap there.
It's probably the biggest gap we've had so far in the playoffs. Actually, not probably. It is.
It is. I mean, first for 16.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's ridiculous. We got to give you guys some X factors here now. And I'm going to start off for the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm going to say straight up, I think the X factor is going to have to be Stuart Skinner. Because if this team wants to go on a run, not just win this series, but go on a run in general, but they're going to need Stuart Skinner to really play well. I mean, he's been decent and serviceable in the regular season, but he's not been a world beater by any means. And I think that is the type of guy and that is the type of difference they need for this team to go win this series and go towards a run to the Cup.
My pick, oh man, there were so many players I could have picked here, but I think I'm going to go with Evander Kane on this one because he hasn't played well, honestly.
No, he really hasn't.
He really hasn't played well. And people that say, he hasn't. Go look at his stats. He's not even our top 7 top scorer. I know he missed a lot of time in injuries, but when I watch him play, he looks slow. He looks like he's he doesn't know where he's not moving around the ice efficiently. And I want to see, now that he's playing on the line with Draisaitl and Yamamoto, I want to see him move the puck more efficiently. I know he scored that goal last game. I wanted to see him score some big goals in the playoffs there.
And my X factor for the LA Kings, and I think really this is probably the biggest X factor, is going to be Phillip Danault. Yeah. Because if Phillip Danault does not do something defensively to shut down Connor McDavid's line, this series is over in 4 or 5 games. It's going to come down to how well Phillip Danault and that line can play good, solid two-way hockey. Because, I mean, we've seen it in the past. This is the guy caught eating pizza in the post-game interview for Montreal, shutting down Austin Matthews, shutting down Mark Stone. This guy is used in that role for years now. This is going to be a big part of LA's chance to try to upset the Oilers.
You took my player. I was going to pick Phillip Danault because it's pretty obvious that he has to shut down the best players. But you made me pick a different one, so I'm going to have to pick, it could be Korpisalo. No, I'm going to pick Gavrikov because they threw in
big
all
capital.
the chips. They put in a lot of capital to pick up this guy. On paper, he's supposed to be good, but to me, he hasn't looked exceptionally revolutionary for this defense core. So we'll see what happens. He's got to rise his game for sure.
Yeah, he'll have to be the best version of himself, especially against that offense.
Yep.
All right, so we just got to leave you guys off with a prediction here on how we expect this series to go. And after watching last year's series with LA taking the Oilers to 7, I can't discredit them too much. But unfortunately, against everything I believe in, I have to pick the Edmonton Oilers to win this series. And I'm going to say the Oilers win this series in 6.
I'm going to say the Oilers win in 5. It's going to be a fast series. I'm going to take a distinguish of the Kings and move on to the next one.
I mean, the Oilers always tend to lose game 1. So, I mean, you have to at least give that one.
I mean, yeah, that's what's at 5.
Oh, 5. They're just going to sweep it afterwards,
yes.
Eh? Oh, okay, all right. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you in our final preview later on. Take care, and have a great day.
Bye.